All right, seventh graders, now that you've had some time to set up your map and add all these things to the outside, now it is time to plot all of our earthquakes. So to do that, you're going to want to use two different colors. You're going to make a key on your map. So you could use red if you wanted to for earthquake. It doesn't matter to me. And then a different color for volcano. But whatever you do, you just want to stay consistent. So if I go back to my packet, it shows here that my first earthquake happens at a latitude of 36.3 north. So honestly, when I plot these, I don't even pay attention to latitude or longitude because that usually confuses kids. What I do pay attention to is the north, south, east, and west. So here it says 36.3 north. So if I go back to my map, and actually I'm going to go to this one here, and I'm going to present mode so that you can see it a little bit closer. I think. There we go. Okay, so over here, I know that it's going to be on the upper hemisphere of my map, so 36.3. Now you really aren't going to be able to be as accurate as the 0.3, so you can just round it to 36. So right here, this is 0, 10, 20, 30. So 36 is going to be somewhere a little over halfway, right where my cursor is, 36 north. Okay. Now, what I also have to pay attention to is what was my east-west reading. So I need to go back because I don't have a good memory for that kind of stuff. Okay, so 23.4 east. So if I head back here again, okay, so 23 east. Okay, so if I look up at the top of my map, here's 10 degrees east, here's 20, here's 30, so right about there. So if I was pretending to plot this like I would on a graph and have my two imaginary lines come together, if I head straight down here with my cursor and stop when it looks like I'd be at about 36 north, I would say that I'd land somewhere in the Mediterranean Sea. And actually, if I click, I have already a dot ready to go and pre-made for that space. So I would make my dot and make sure it's whatever color I'm doing for earthquakes. And now I'm ready to move on to my second earthquake. Okay, so again, I would need to look at my next earthquake number 2, look at my packet. Again, ignore latitude, longitude, and I can show you where the next one will be so we can practice two together. So 32.5 north, I'm just going to round it. Let's say 33 north and 105 west. 33 north and 105 west. Okay, so already have that one. So again, 33 north, there's 30, so right about here. But now I'm in the 105 west portion. So here's 100, here's 110. If I head down to 33, it should land somewhere, yeah, somewhere about there is about right. Okay, and so your dot should be somewhere right along the coast of the west coast of Mexico. All right, so to the best of your ability, I want you to keep plotting all of those earthquakes. So here you have 20 earthquakes to plot. When you're done with that, you're going to go to the next page and you have 10, is it 10? 12, I don't know why I said 10, 12 volcanoes to plot right over here. Make sure you use a different color. Okay, it does talk about up here like using different symbols for how strong of an earthquake it is. You could certainly do that, but because I'm not there, I'm going to keep it kind of simple, and that's not something you need to do right now. Once you're done plotting all of your volcanoes and all of your earthquakes, then you can continue down to section B, right here where it says labeling the plates. So step one says, now that you've come up with a hypothesis of where the 8 major tectonic plates are located, your teacher will help you label the actual location of the 8 major plates. Well, I'm not there to directly help you, but basically I'll try my best to explain how you're going to make that happen. So this part does get a little tricky. What you're going to want to do is, okay, so here's kind of the best way I can help you, is earlier you drew some lines where the ridges are and the trenches and all of that. And if you look at a map on page 43 of our thin little textbook, the one that we've been constantly using, you'll see a map of all of our tectonic plates. And you'll notice that the edges of the tectonic plates seem to line up with a lot of these lines that you drew earlier in the lesson. So here on the right-hand side, I can see how it looks like this line here, where this mid-ocean ridge is matching up really nicely with what we drew earlier. And if you continue to work your way through and tracing everything, and you're going to want to look at the map on page 43 in the textbook to help guide you. Your goal is to try to outline all the tectonic plates. This does get a little tricky, so hopefully students like Lucia and Celeste and the other students in 7-8A, like Tanvi and Sadia and Chung, could help those of you that might be stuck because they've already had the chance to try this. Once you are finished labeling, or at least drawing the outside edges of all the plates, then you're going to want to actually label them. So the plates that I want you to label are listed here. You do not need to label all of the tiny little plates. It does also mention that you're supposed to color all the plates. You do not need to do that. All I need you to do is label the plates themselves. Once that is completed, then you have some time to process and think about what you did today. So remember, you outlined a bunch of plates, you plotted earthquakes and volcanoes. So you have all of these questions here that I'm scrolling down that I would like you to respond to in your packet. Okay. If you don't finish those or this lesson, these pages are homework. And if you have questions, I will be back on Thursday. So please stop by or come in during Flex if you're stuck and you need some extra guidance. All right. Good luck. See you soon.